This is part of my letterbox build I'm doing at the minute. Sort of getting most of the things done on it at the moment, or the framing up. You could argue it's full on if you want to, but I've got all the time in the world for this and all the timber, so I don't mind going overboard. No rushing. I'm just sort of working through it in my own time. Get it done whenever I feel like and whatnot. So here what I've done is I've added a double step here in the roof for a bit of detail. The actual letterbox here, I've left a mill gut socket salt slider folded flashing in around that. Same as the front here. Got a mill gut all the way around there. Perfectly centered from that point anyway to that point. Same with the other side. Perfectly the same measurement up from the ground around both sides. So this is just for fun, this part. As you can see, it's sort of a feature letterbox I'm building here. So basically the water just pours straight off, goes through the hole. Also, you can have some plants grow through this as I'm leaving this hollow. So all this is getting cluttered up here, getting cluttered around there and on the inside here. But this square here is going to be left hollow. Today I've basically framed out the box itself, getting that centered and getting all the right heights on that. And then what I've done is I've added some timber across here and some down there to pick up for some cladding. Some other timber might be required. Just depends on where the cladding's going to end up. I haven't measured it yet, so yeah, might need to add a little bit of timber here and there, but that's fine. Worry about that when I get to it. Then in here, what I've done is I've added this sort of wedge detail, as you can see. Same on the other side. What I've done is I've cut all these with the circle saw on the grass, so the blade can go right through it. I don't need to cut any workbench or anything like that. And I've added those offcuts in to support it. It's nice and strong, a little bit of a wing detail. And then what I've done, I'm still undecided on this detail, how I'm going to finish it, but it's going to have a parcel shelf. So I've got some soft close hinges here, still working my way through it. They close like that. So yeah, the reason why I've done this wing is so the actual drawer itself is going to copy this and hopefully sit back a little bit and be more protected from the weather. Like I said, I'm still working my way through that detail. Obviously not going off any plans or measurements or nothing, just sort of, I wouldn't say really winging it, but just sort of working it out as I go. I just had a bit of a stuff around here with the Bosch bevel level, whatever you want to call it. Awesome bit of kit. So here we have a 11 pitch on the roof. I thought it would be cool if the pitch ran down and then the end of it on the same plane runs into this part. I thought that would be a cool way to design that, but then that would be way too long, so I've just chopped it a little bit shorter. As you can see, so if you've got 11.7 pitch, that would be the degrees of the flashing up in there if you're going to do that. That would be the degrees of the flashings here if you were to flash it that way. Obviously here you got 90 degrees, and then if you were to have the same pitch up and over, it would be the same as the roof pitch roughly anyway. Sort of there's a little bit of educational thing added into the video. Now I'll just try and get the stuff off the top and show you what I've done on the bottom. Now none of this timber's treated and it will be outside, so I'm going to really pay some good attention to it. So I'll just tip it over. It's quite good for weight actually. So what I've done here is when I originally framed it out, I had these flush so it's easy to build, made it all, screwed it all together. Now when I'm screwing stuff and I know I'm going to unscrew it, I won't sink it. I'll sit them proud like that so I can pull them out and it's not going to get any chip out in my timber. So stuff like this, I will be pulling this off at one stage and gluing it all to the underside and spreading it out. So after I took the screws back out, chopped off 10mm, the screws went back in their same holes, and I've burnt that as a bit of treatment. And same with all this green stuff here. I will further burn all these, pull these apart, as they will be quite low ground contact. I will have it sitting up off a slab, roughly 10 to 15mm, some L brackets, and they'll be covered in a flashing anyway, so it will be quite looked after from the weather. But sort of thinking about that a fair bit while I'm framing it. So yeah, that's sort of where I've gotten up to at the minute. As you can tell, very, very rigid, just by the look of it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. What I've done today is pre-drilled some screws running off these, as I may slide this whole piece out. They're basically just 90-45 here, and then I've laminated it to this side. So these don't run all the way through, it's just this outer piece. And this whole piece here, if I want to, can slide out, which I may do, because I may tuck the flashings into that and run it in, just so basically I can almost clad this as a square unit by itself and then slide it in with cladding. If I was to leave it like it is now and try and wrap it all, you'll have extra joins and extra lines. So I'm trying to basically, I know it looks busy and a little bit complicated here, but I'm trying to, once I actually start running the flashings, make it look as simple as possible. So the reason why I've done this basically is just to give myself a bit of a challenge. I like learning, I like thinking, and to do something new I've never done before with all these angles and wrapping around all these things like that. Anyone can do a flat, straight wall. It's not too hard, but something like this requires a little bit of thinking. So anytime it's on me, and it doesn't matter when the job gets done, doesn't matter how much you spend on it, obviously just smaller jobs, I like to keep it relatively simple and then add one or two little twists in it that are going to make me think a little bit and challenge myself to make me learn and make things a little bit more interesting along the way. That's how I sort of like to do my own little projects. Everything has a little twist on it, so it's not as easy as just a normal letterbox or deck or pergola or anything like that. So that's my thinking behind this. Hope you enjoy this video. This is, I guess, part one. I've got some other videos up on my Instagram, but yeah, I will do some more step-by-steps on what I'm doing here, how I've gone about it. Also do a lot of videos on myself cladding it, which I think will be really interesting. Certainly a few people out there I know will love it. May even learn a thing or two, which is the whole point of why I do all this stuff, because a lot of my apprenticeship and growing up, I was just treated like crap and no one really taught me anything, and I had to sort of figure things out myself. So this is why I do like to put up a lot of content with how to do stuff. And I also love your guys' feedback as well. If you're saying anything you think I could do better, it's what it's all about. If anyone ever tells me anything, it can only make me learn something and make me smarter. So more about learning and trying new things. Yeah, so I'll put up some more videos. I'm also going to sort of track how long it's taken me to do this, how much I've spent, and yeah, as a general idea about this. So yeah, I hope you guys find it interesting, as I do. Certainly going to be a good little bit of content for you guys, I reckon. So hope you enjoy, guys.